I talk like this. Welcome to the Pearlii Podcast. We're very lucky to have a special guest, Dr Adrienne Wood from the University of Virginia. Adrienne, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me, Kyle.
All right, this is a fun episode. We're talking about all things laughter. So to kick things off, is there a textbook definition of laughing? Why do we laugh?
Technical definition of laughter that I use in my lab when I'm trying to measure it is the forceful exhalation or expulsion of air. So it comes from these rapid contractions of all the muscles in your body. We can't define it by what your voice is doing because sometimes people have those breathy laughs with no voice to it. So that's kind of the very dry technical definition.
Okay, that's really good. But why do we do it? Are there benefits?
So I like to think of laughter from an evolutionary perspective. So I think about it and its roots in mammalian play. So all mammals play, especially when they are juveniles, when they're babies and young. And they need a way to signal and communicate to one another that they are playing and that what they're doing is not serious. So they need to be able to say, hey, I'm going to come up and bite you or chase you, but I'm not actually attacking you. It's pretend attack. And so they evolved these signals that say to one another that we're just playing. And so one of the signals that mammals have evolved is this breathy exhalation that kind of sounds like panting. And that is kind of the general homologue or analogy to human laughter. And we've added our voices to it. So now it's no longer just breathy. It can also have the ha-has, the vocal intonation with it.
That's amazing. It's pretty obvious now that you sort of said that. Do other animals use voice as part of laughing, or are we the only ones that do that?
There's some evidence that other animals do. So the first person who really popularized this idea of animal laughter did it by tickling rats in his laboratory and noticed that they didn't make any noises, but then he realized that that's because rats communicate a lot in the ultrasonic range where humans can't hear it. So he used an ultrasonic measuring recording device and discovered that when he tickled the rats with his hand, it made them laugh and they would chase after his hand and try to get more tickles. So that's how he knew that it was kind of a rewarding, enjoyable thing and not them screaming out of fear or whatever. And also there's some videos you can find on YouTube of baby chimpanzees being tickled and laughing as well.
Okay, so there's a physical response there. And so there's definitely an evolutionary driving force behind laughing. But why do we laugh at jokes? Why do people not laugh at my jokes? There we go. Yes.
Yes, there's one. The recipe for a joke, if we want to take all the fun out of humor, the recipe for a joke is to surprise someone, but let them know that that surprise is happening in a safe space. So that's why if someone jumps out of the closet to scare you, like your friend or your sister jumps out of the closet to scare you, at first you're going to be afraid, but as soon as you realize it's them, you're probably going to laugh. That's probably the next thing you're going to do because it's the surprise combined with I'm safe.
That's really interesting. Are there any differences between the genders or age groups that you know about?
Add a caveat to all of these kind of group differences in laughter is I think that laughter is really sensitive to social context. And like I've been saying from when I first started talking about mammalian laughter more generally, it's serving a communication function. And so because of that, it's always going to be adjusted to the culture that you're in and the context you're in. So in one culture, we might observe a gender difference in who laughs and when they laugh, but that might not be saying anything about fundamental biological sex differences. It might just be reflecting the different social roles that genders or age groups or whatever are playing in that society. But caveats aside, there is a bit of evidence looking at just natural laughter among people from different social categories. In my own work, I found that women, and these are very specific category of women, these are 18 to 22-year-old women at a Midwestern United States university. But women laugh spontaneously more than men, at least in the studies that I've seen and the studies I've done. Women are especially likely to laugh when they are in a cross-gender or mixed gender group setting. So two women who don't know each other are probably going to produce slightly less laughter than that one of those women when they're paired with a man. And that's probably some sort of status differential thing because part of what laughter conveys is kind of non-threatening, friendly, submissive intentions. And of course, women in Western society and many societies are expected to take that more affiliative, subservient role. And so laughter helps them to accomplish that.
And last question, what's the worst laugh you've ever heard?
I think that the laughter that feels weirdest to us and that really kind of grates on you is often laughter that is somehow deviating from average laughter, and is also laughter that you have a hard time kind of embodying yourself. So if someone's laughter doesn't sound at all like my own laughter, then I'm not going to have that feeling of contagion where, oh, I almost feel like I'm vicariously laughing with them because their laughter just feels so foreign to my own. So I think that the laughter that we find really grating is just laughter that is so far away from ours that we don't get any vicarious pleasure out of hearing it.
Okay, fascinating. I could talk to you for hours about this. Thank you so much for coming on the show. To our listeners at home, I'm sure you enjoyed that. There'll be plenty of other podcasts you can listen to. Please follow us on socials and download the Pearlii app. Dr. Adrienne Wood, thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you.